Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Elite Wrestling World. I am your host Gosad. Thank you guys for joining me right here for AEW Dynasty post-show review. What a banger of a pay-per-view we had. Excellent matches and MJF retains the title in a classic main event match against Kenny Omega. So let's get dive into it and talk about that. So we started off the main card with Excalibur, Nigel McGuinness, and Tony Schiavone, joined on commentary by Don Callis ahead of the opening contest on the pay-per-view. The opening match is Okada and Konosuke Takeshita versus the Young Bucks tag team match. Would you expect anything less from these four men? That was an absolute classic to kick off the pay-per-view. The story of Okada knowing the Bucks so well and vice versa played into this match great, and this also wasn't filled with Takeshita and Okada bad blood until really the second half of the match. We are slowly but surely getting there as Callis is now left to deal with Takeshita's actions, leading to the finish of the match. So Nick and Takeshita kick things off with Takeshita wrapping up quick with the Takeshita line before tagging Okada. Both men shake hands, smirks on their faces before Okada hits the slingshot senton, mocking the Bucks' pose. We saw Callis met with fuck Don Callis chants as well. Takeshita tried to pop up Matt from the floor to the apron, but Matt countered into a flipping stunner as well. That looks good. Takeshita stopped Okada from tapping as they started slapping one another before scrambling to the ropes as well. We saw Okada flew in with his dropkick, tried a rainmaker on Matt who ducked but ate a power drive knee from Takeshita as well. Nick Watt did a German on Okada who held on. So Takeshita tried a German, both held on, and so Matt slingshot in with a sunset flip and suplex the entire part. That looks fantastic. Takeshita no sold the double power drive knee on Bucks, and then the all four men started slugging it out as Okada all of a sudden daxed Takeshita and both started throwing bombs. This allows Matt to nail the poison Rana, but Takeshita countered the BTE trigger into a double Takeshita line, Raging Fire, and that was cut off by Okada as well. Bucks hit dueling super kicks on Okada and the BTE trigger. Only Okada kicked out. Melter driver cut off by Takeshita initially, and then he let Nick's boot go to allow them to hit the Melter driver and get the pin on Okada, and the Bucks wins a classic to open the pay-per-view. So Takeshita trash talked Okada before leaving the ring to Callis to tend his crown jewel. So that was a great finish also, and the match was fantastic to see, and the story between Okada and Takeshita is gonna be fantastic to see what happens in the coming weeks. Next up is Chris Jericho versus Ricochet singles match. I understand the demand are heels, but the interference were beyond overkill in this match. And I think so. Jericho looked solid here and was able to keep up with Ricochet's high flying offense. The crowd seemed pretty surprised with the finish as they were behind Jericho, especially all the comedy spots early on. And it will be interesting to see where Jericho goes from here and what reaction he will get when AEW gets back to the US. And for the match, we saw Ricochet sent Jericho crashing to the apron, hit a dead valley driver on the edge of the ring. That looks brutal. Ricochet spun out, only Jericho hit a hip toss and placed his hair on Ricochet's bald noggin for some laughs. And we saw Ricochet took too long going up top. Jericho joined him and only to get his face bitten as well. Caught breaker in mid-air for a very close 2 count. That looks fantastic to see. Ricochet hit the shooting star press for 2, loading up the spirit gun, but was going to pin him, but Leona told him to hit the line salt, and Ricochet hit the line salt, Jericho's move, and get the pinfall victory. So again, it's gonna be interesting to see where Jericho goes from here. Next up is Andrade versus Darby Allin. You could say Allin survived this more than won as these two beat the holy crap out of each other. Even in defeat, this run of Andrade returning back to AEW has been fantastic, and I hope he will be featuring in the upper tier of AEW pay-per-views as well. The heart of Allin in all of his matches, especially for big matches, is unmatched. He now gets a world title shot against the winner of tonight's main event, so let's see what happens there. And for the match, we saw Andrade spots another adoring fan ringside, takes a selfie, but didn't see Allin coming flying in from the top of the camera shot with the coffin drop. Allin hit one coffin splash but collapsed briefly, allowing Andrade to hit the three amigos and three third, sending Allin crashing into the corner. We saw Andrade hit the corner double knees, but Allin kicked out. The crowd chanted, "Take off your pants" to Andrade, and he obliged as well. Andrade dares Allin to fight back as we get a loud slap battle before Andrade slapping the living hell out of Allin as well. The DM attempt by Andrade was blocked by Darby Allin, and he locked in the Last Supper for the flash pin. So again, very good win for Darby Allin as well. A frustrated Andrade after the post match offered a shake hand, raising Allen's hand and giving him the ring, acknowledging Allen got the best of him tonight. So maybe we can see a face turn of Andrade as well. So it's interesting to see what happens next. Next up is FTR versus Adam Copeland and Christian Cage for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. I thought this was an excellent match, better than their match at All Out. The result, I think so, is fine with me because first match was won by Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, so you have to give FTR a win back as well, so that you might be getting a third match between these two teams with might be a stipulation involved. So I think so that's a very good match and the right finish for this match. Stokely is showing off Cage's watch that he stole on Wednesday. We saw a four-way brawl to start off this match. Cage dished out 20 corner punches to both. FTR members hit his reverse DDT on Wheeler as well. Wheeler broke the count and stabbed the arm over the top and sent Cage into the railing as well. FTR wanted the powerplex, but Cage hit Harwood and hit a diving headbutt for the double down before making the hot tag to Copeland as well. So Wheeler grabbed the tag title. There was a tug of war with Cage as Copeland rolled up Harwood for two, but Copeland was sent into the belt and nearly got pinned as a result but kicked out. Stokely tries blaming referee about the count that Harwood did after hitting the low blow on Copeland, but Copeland survived that. And in the meanwhile, this allows Copeland to get back onto his feet and hit the pile driver on Dax Harwood as well. Now Wheeler grabbed the chair, but Cage ripped it away. Only Stokely grabbed it, and Cage was posted and thrown over the timekeeper's table. FTR trigger is dodged and they are mocking Young Bucks with super kicks and FTR trigger, and Copeland dodged it and hit a double spear. Wheeler dodged a spear as FTR hit a shadow machine in the middle of the ring and retains the title. So again, a very good uh, championship match, and FTR retains is the right result. Next up, we saw the return of Camille on 0 hour and attacking Willow Nightingale. So we got back stage with Willow saying if you want to make a comeback at her expense, you're going to have to do a hell lot of that. So if you want to hope on the welcome wagon Miss American Gladiator, we will see Camille at Spring Breakthrough, and it's official, Willow versus Camille for the TBS title at Spring Breakthrough Dynamite. So it's gonna be a fantastic match. Next up is a Casino Gauntlet match for the vacant TNT title. I know the gauntlets go a mile a minute and the pace is crazy, but there always tend to be downtime. This match was not one of those cases, and this was moving from the start. This is no way overstay its welcome, and I think 10 guys was the perfect amount of entrance. I don't think anyone saw this result coming. So again, the match was fantastic. Tommaso Ciampa and Rouge started the match, and they just exploded these two men. are very hard hitting competitors. Number 3 is Ring of Honor champion Bandito, who caught Rush with a super kick and somersault Suicida out onto Champ outside as well. Looking for 21 plex, Rush blindsided Bandito and smashed him repeatedly into the railing. Number 4 is Mike Bailey, who took out Rush on the floor and missile dropkick Champa back inside. Number 5 is El Colon, who fired a thrust kick to Rouge on the stage. Number 6 is Pac, who came from the crowd and spiked Colon with the bounce back German, and Bailey with the wild overhead belly to belly into the corner. That looks brutal. Bandito joins the three-way face-off, and they are off at lightning quick speed. Pac was double super kick, taking out everyone. Number 7 is Garcia, who rushed to the ring to save his partner Park. Garcia and Park gave Cologne locomotion corner charges. Number 8 is Anthony Bowens, who runs wild and drops Bandito with the famous and Clone with the twisting reverse torture axe slam. So number 9 is Kevin Knight, who leapfrogged Rouge on the ramp and took out Champa with the leaping lariat as well. Rouge returned and delivered Rouge retired and delivered Bull's horns to Bowens, but Clone flew in with a dive onto Rouge, but Champa was there for Project Champa for a very close two count. Garcia sacking a Dragon Tamer on Bailey, but Kevin Knight flew in with the UFO splash to get the pin and wins the TNT title. Knight was shocked as he should be, and pointed out that Bailey looked disappointed, but that was a very good match and the rightful new TNT champion Kevin Knight. Next up is women's title match, Thekla Jamie Hayter. That was a fantastic match, and I think so. These two ladies wrestled really well against each other in the previous matches as well. Hayter steamrolled Thekla at the bell with the big boot and punches. Thekla answered with a spear and a rolling arm lock choke, with Hayter scrambling for the ropes as well. Haterade countered as Tekla racked the eyes to escape. A firearms carry got a corner roll, holding the ropes and a tainted victory. So again, this thing, uh, Hater just looked shocked, and Tekla again is using heel tactics to retain his title. Next up, we saw Jon Moxley versus Will Ospreay for the Continental title. The storytelling for this match was perfect, in my opinion. Yes, there was a point where Ospreay was throwing so many hidden blades that the crowd started to pop less for them, but in the end, it was Ospreay's downfall. And I love that commentary pointed it out in the post match. They really put the question out therefore where Ospreay will go now, and he allow himself to move on from Moxley as well. Paradigm shift delivered on the fort that looks brutal. Violent sleeper suplex back inside by Moxley as a series of clothesline leads to Moxley continuing to target Ospreay's neck. Moxley scrambled the shank in a bulldog choke to the 10-minute call. Gut style pile driver spied Ospreay for a very close two count. Ospreay tried an Oscutter, but Moxley countered into a paradigm shift, but the momentum caused Ospreay to bounce up and hit another hidden blade for the collapsing of Moxley. Another slugfest until Ospreay hit a thrust kick flush, as referee Paul Turner had to pull Ospreay off Moxley in the corner as well. Bulldog choke from Ospreay this time, and then hit a style clash for a very close two count. Hidden blade hit, and his left arm in the process is clutching his left arm at the 5-minute call. Ospreay wanted a tiger driver but lost strength in his arm to hold the grip as well. Doc Sampson rushed to Ospreay's side as Turner told him he has to put the count on him after Moxley hitting a crazy pile driver as well. Moxley curb stop and two paradigm shifts, but Ospreay kicks out. Moxley flattened Ospreay with the Death Rider, and that was the finish. And Moxley retains the title. Post match, we saw Excalibur said Ospreay throwing so many hidden blades did so much damage to his own arm. He hopes Ospreay can move forward through this, and he wants the doctors to have him get an MRI as well, as Moxley stood tall with the Continental title. So it's gonna be fun. fantastic story to tell in the coming weeks where Ospreay goes from here. Next up, it is the World Trios titles match, the Dogs versus the Conglomeration. There was a setup on stage with Cassidy trying to sleep on the couch as Strong tries to wake him up. Cassidy wants 5 more minutes. There's a knock on the door and it's Kyle O'Reilly coming back to Conglomeration in Vancouver in his hometown. A huge hometown pop for O'Reilly as well. And we started off the match with O'Reilly getting a flying leg lock on Finlay early on as Cassidy and Strong did the tamest demolition elbow of the second before dispatching the dogs at ringside. Cassidy tried slamming Finlay from turnbuckle to turnbuckle and it was going well until Connors flew in with a spear through the ropes as well. We saw Cassidy as a lawn dart, chucked him into the dog's corner before throwing him at Finlay for a DDT. Roderick Strong takes out Connors, but Finlay saved his partner from end of heartache. We are told Gabe Kid is getting medical attention. Is Kyle O'Reilly and Finlay and Connors keep Strong grounded until Strong backdrop Finlay outside that and drove Connors down with the backbreaker. We see Gabe Kid getting medical attention. I think so. He dislocated his shoulder, and it's now 2-on-3 in this match. Ankle lock applied as Finlay charged to break. Cassidy whipped an orange punch, and Connors just tapped out frankly as Cassidy got his orange punch in on Finlay ringside. So this was a fantastic homecoming for O'Reilly as he is now a champion in AEW as well. O'Reilly pointed to the sky as a tribute to his father and he strutted around the ring playing his newly won title. And this was a great moment for the conglomeration. And in the main event, we saw MJF versus Kenny Omega for the world title. The Devil versus the God of Pro Wrestling. Credit to the Vancouver crowd. They were this deep into the show and wanted to cheer for Omega, and they did just that throughout the match. They were disappointed with the result, but I think so that was a fantastic match. This also leads to the question, why wouldn't have Omega just kept MJF's ring at the end of Dynamite before giving it back? MJF always finds a way to retrieve it, and it was the catalyst of what led to victory yet again here tonight. The entrances of both the competitors was fantastic. So we started off with referee demanding the Dynamite Diamond ring from MJF to start off the match. MJF sidestepped a V-trigger, wanted heat seeker, but Omega had it scouted, charged for a knee, but MJF hightailed it into the crowd. We saw MJF hit a drop toe hold onto a chair, sending Omega over the timekeeper's table. Table was properly set up ringside as MJF was put on it and Omega went up top, but MJF rolled into the corner. MJF faked a knee injury. Omega bit, allowing MJF to spin out into a pile driver, mocking a V-trigger attempt. Omega dodged into a snapdragon for a double down. MJF rolled outside but put himself right in the path for Omega, hitting a Terminator dive. Omega wanted one wicked angel, but MJF racked at his eyes. MJF slid out by beating the forehead. MJF looked for an avalanche tombstone, but Omega clicked his feet, got free, and dribbled a snapdragon. That looks fantastic. MJF tried a crossroads. Omega dodged into a wheel kick to the back, V-trigger in the corner, snapdragon, V-trigger to the face, but MJF kicked out. That was very close to see. MJF starts paintbrushing and toying with Omega, who starts smiling and firing up with rapid strikes, even spitting in MJF's face. V-trigger clobbers MJF as the crowd wanted one more time, and Omega gave it to them. One wicked angel avoided, but MJF put Bryce in his way and he took the V-trigger. This allows MJF to hit the low blow, who grabs the dynamite ring from Bryce's pocket and put it on. Omega ducks a shot, knee lift, hits the one wicked agent in the middle of the ring, and there was no referee to count, and we get a visible 10 count, and then the other referee rushed into the ring and count, and MJF kicks out. So in the history of this move, only Kota Ibushi kicked out of one wicked angel, and now MJF. it was not a 3 count, but it was might be the thing. This move is very protected by Omega. So again, a very good kick out by MJF as well, even in the on the 15 count as well. Then we saw Omega brings MJF to the apron, signals for the table setup. Earlier in the match, wants the one winged Angel on the table, but MJF slugged him in the ribs with Dynamite Diamond Ring and tombstomped Omega off the apron through the table, quickly back inside, hit the Heat Seeker and get the pinfall win. So again, MJF retained the title in one of the greatest pay-per-view main event in AEW history. Post-match, we saw MJF crawled up the ramp and sat on the throne and with the Devil's Crown, raising the AEW World title high to close out the show, and it was a fantastic pay-per-view. So we also get the confirmation later in the night on the press conference as well that MJF will be defending his world title against the number one contender Darby Allin on Dynamite at Spring Breakthrough, and it's gonna be a fantastic match. I think so. I thought they might get this match at Double or Nothing, but they are doing it on Dynamite, and it's gonna be a fantastic match. And I'm pretty much looking forward to that as well. So that's the end of the show, folks. Please, guys, like and share this video, subscribe to my channel, and keep watching Elite Wrestling World.